Charter Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance. We are joined today by Bob Huff. He is a member of the California State Senate, also a candidate for the Board of Supervisors in Los Angeles County. And sir, before we start talking about the drought, an important issue, I want to get a sense from you, why is it that you aspire to that office? And I think about others who've aspired. Hilda Solis went from Secretary of Labor for the United States of America to LA County Board of Supervisors. Janice Hahn leaving the U.S. Congress to run for LA County Board of Supervisors. What is it?
Well, I don't want to say I'm experienced, but I'm experienced.
Right.
I've done the local government for 9 years on the Diamond Bar City Council. Right. I've done state government for 11 years.
Leader of the Senate Republicans.
For about 4 years, yeah. So, I think we can stipulate that a lot of the stuff that cities and counties have to deal with come from the state.
Sure.
So I've had experience at both levels, and I think the relationships to help interact well, and you have a new board that's emerging together. You're losing a lot of corporate memory.
As a result of term limits.
As a result of term limits. And so I think it's good to have somebody that's sort of an outsider from the county, but also the experience to work across lines to get stuff done, and I think I bring that to the table.
And I want to ask about you and how many folks you've represented during your tenure in various offices. What's stunning to me about the LA County Board of Supervisors, 2 million constituents per each district, bigger than 10 states. You've represented as a senator almost 1 million. So you kind of know how to deal with large constituencies, but still, 2 million?
Well, and you can't do it all on your own. It's like anything else. You have to have good staff. I've been blessed with being able to hire good staff that have represented me well in the places I can't get to. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to give staff direction. You have to be able to know how to make it all work for to people. Because at the end of the day, we represent the people with their issues, and that's what I have been doing now for almost 20 years.
And I want to ask about an issue that is causing a lot of fear, and that is the drought. And it's causing a lot of fear even in Los Angeles County. The irony of all ironies is we face this 4-year drought where we have no rain. And now what the scientists are telling us is that there is the potential for a Godzilla El Nino, the most powerful on record. These are very dramatic terms. You've been looking at the potential for El Nino. What can you tell us? What's the report on the governmental side?
Well, there's a lot of rain coming, we think. Weather forecasters can't exactly get the weather right for the next week.
We know that.
Given everything in the temperature of the ocean, I think we have to figure we are online for a Godzilla event. And so for some people, that means they really ought to be getting flood insurance. And you don't think of it. I can remember living down in the Imperial Valley. We had a Godzilla storm. It was actually a hurricane, became a tropical storm. I had water up over the curb in 2/3 of the way to my front door before it started subsiding. And I'm a young married guy, and all my world possessions are inside that house. We don't have any flood insurance, but it certainly made me think more about that, and I think people should consider their risk.
And let us consider what happened in October, 20 feet deep of mudslides in the high desert, in the Antelope Valley. Is that in the district?
Antelope Valley absolutely is, yes.
And so you surely have traveled to those communities as part of your campaign. It was lunar in its appearance when you looked at those mudslides in Lancaster, Palmdale, that area.
Well, and additionally, Angeles National Forest is in that district, and when you get burns, the fires come through, then you get the rains after that. That's the worst of the worst. Not only you have the hazard of the fire, but then the mudslides that come after that. So people just have to look. Even if you're up on a hill, you might be susceptible to a mud flow or something. Your regular insurance isn't going to cover that.
And so we know that earthquake insurance can be very expensive, sometimes hard to even get. There is, I think it's called the California Earthquake Insurance Authority. I think that's how we get it now through the state. What's the flood insurance landscape?
Flood insurance is very similar. It's a FEMA-run program, and I have a home up in Sacramento also. Now, I originally didn't have to have insurance there, flood insurance, but then Hurricane Katrina made Army Corps of Engineers reevaluate all the levees. All of a sudden, it was mandated until we built up the levees. So I've become a little more, versed in this. But it's a similar kind of deal where you have a large enough pool that people put up some money to protect their goods and all that stuff.
And is it affordable in the final analysis?
Is it affordable to lose everything you have?
Well stated.
So that's insurance is that whole, you're gambling, right?
What about the time frame? Do we have time to acquire the insurance if there's a flood in, 45 days, let's say?
You got 30-day incubation period, so you need to, and it's going to take a little while to get it through your agent. Some agents write it, some agents don't, but from the time that you get it, you have a 30-day. So in case the weather guys do get it right.
Right. I want to ask also about storage. You were part of a team that worked diligently to get a bond measure on the ballot in November 2014. Yeah, 2014. The voters were very generous, passed it $7.545 billion. Overwhelming support throughout the state, Democrats and Republicans, Central Valley and Imperial Valley. And so we have this money for storage above ground, below ground. The rain's about to come. Did the bond help to capture some of that water?
Well, we always saw the bond as a long-term solution, not a short-term. So the shorter answer is no. A lot of that money, particularly for the above-ground storage, is they're getting the environmental stuff done. They're figuring out everything. It's a couple of years before they get started.
So what can we do now? Because it would just be devastating to have all this rain land on us and it just flow out into the ocean, especially when we hear that a lot of the rain is anticipated to be rain and not snow. And so if it's rain in the Sierras, we need that snowpack. We're not going to have it because the rain's going to be warm.
Right. And I think I saw something here in Southern California. We have 2/3 of our rainwater that runs out to the ocean.
Right.
So Metropolitan Water District has their own strategic plan to save 200,000 acre feet by 2035. But individually, there's rain barrels being given away or sold
Why
cheap.
not?
You know, look online, find out if your water agency does that, because then you can capture that and use it to water your plants when it's not raining.
I got to ask you about a term that's used. It's a term called toilet to tap. Yeah, I laugh and we all laugh, but in a lot of ways I'm wondering if we shouldn't laugh, because can toilet water be safe drinking water if handled appropriately?
Absolutely.
It's stunning to hear.
I've been to the facility down in Orange County where the sanitation district there takes their stuff that flows downhill, cleans it up, put ultraviolet light on it, and
reverse osmosis.
Yeah, they run it through reverse osmosis, but it's the ultraviolet that kills the pathogens in there stuff. And they do all the it's very safe, but it is the imagery. So we prefer to call that showers to flowers.
I like that. I like showers to flowers. But as you may know, the Water Replenishment District of Southern California in this region is looking to build a purification plant. And if that happens, I understand that this entire area will be self-sufficient. No more Colorado River water. I mean, this could be really groundbreaking and life-changing.
It is a huge deal. We have so much water that literally just goes out to the ocean after you treat it. This is something that in Orange County, they inject it back down and then pump it up as they need it. So there's many different ways to use it. You have other communities that aren't treating it quite to that level, and they're irrigating medians, golf courses, city landscaping, but we can do a lot more with what we have, and we have to do that, frankly, for the future.
I want to ask about desalination, another very popular solution that's part of a grander bargain, because to rely exclusively on one type of solution is probably ineffective. But we look at desal throughout the state. Carlsbad is coming online. Santa Barbara is going to open up. Cambria has one. Huntington Beach is looking at one. What do you think about the desal solution?
It's very expensive. Even the best is about $2,000 an acre foot. So in the drought now, you have some of these farmers that are bartering to keep their orchards alive. They're paying more than that. But generally speaking, that's about, we'll call it twice what Metropolitan Water District is selling theirs for. So it's very expensive, but it is a partial solution to our problem.
You know, I read recently, the part of the expense is the energy to actually create the desal water. But then I understand that in Saudi Arabia, they use a solar plant to energize the desal plant. We've got a lot of sun here.
It makes a lot of sense, at least when the sun is shining.
Right,
you know?
clearly.
But another problem we're having, Brad, is the Coastal Commission. It's difficult, even when you're existing at a generation facility where you get the cheaper electricity, you don't have to transmit it long distances. That's what Carlsbad did at Huntington Beach is trying to do. How you get the water in and how you put it back out, they're having concerns now.
He'll come back. He is Bob Huff, California State Senator candidate for LA County Board of Supervisors. I'm Brad Pomerance, Charter Local Edition.